Hey, welcome back everyone. You guys know who we are, and if you don't, my name's Briggs. This is my dad, Brett, here.
This is all good.
And we're the two owners, Miles Pellet Stove, bringing you guys another pellet stove review video.
What review day?
It's review day. Gotta get that a little bit in there, huh? So yes, like my dad said, it is review day. We're doing another ComfortBilt pellet stove model, and today we're going to be doing it on the HP22-N.
SS.
Super special. Sorry, were you going to say that?
SS stands for stainless steel around the door. And Briggs likes to call it the super special, which is fine.
It's more catchier.
It's all good. This is the way it comes when you have it delivered to your house. And so when you have it delivered, check for imperfections or possible damage, because as these come from different parts of the country and they go through trucks and blah, 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 warehouses, you get it. Just check them out. Like down here, we got a little bit, not bad, but it turned out really, really well. So anyway, this is the way it comes. So Briggs, anything else?
Well, not much else. And you know, why don't we just combine scenes? Why don't we just start opening it up? Sound good?
Yeah, so we're gonna, like Briggs said, we're gonna open it up. So you just take some scissors and he's gonna do it.
It's real nice. These ComfortBilt stoves, just a few panels. They got these straps on right here, which is not too bad. Just cut them that so.
Okay, here we go.
My dad's already going through it.
Here we go. Get rid of this stuff.
Oh, here. There you go.
There we go.
Really, you just need a good pair of scissors. So, all you gotta do, take off the top.
Here you go. Okay. To the side. That's good.
Oh, sorry. Is that the protocol? There you go.
Let's put it over there. This is good.
Top off, sides out. It opens up just kind of like one of those Christmas chocolate orange. And then, there you have it. And you know what? This one actually came to shipping pretty good. Well, what do you think? I mean, that's actually not too bad.
That's nice. It comes on a little pallet. You get it. And so you can see how it really, really comes together. There you go.
So yeah, looking at it, we got an awesome roly-poly device down there from Harbor Freight. And so we're going to roll it, you kind of see the full deal. And no worries, this is just the first glance. We're going to do the full actual 360, taking the camera and stuff. And my dad will pretty much walk you through the whole thing. Well, you got any more comments before we kind of do more of the close-ups?
Well, you know, I like to give everybody, you know, the basic specs on the stove, and I guess I could probably talk about it now. Well, maybe not now. So this is what comes in the goodie package. So in the bag itself, you're going to have the interface or the control board. So that will go on the back, and we will show you how that attaches. So there you go. And I'll set that down gently. And if you want to, there's a remote control that will operate the stove just like if you use the touchpad. So that comes with that. And obviously the power cord, and which I really, really like. And you always hear me saying all this all the time. Is that this user manual, 8.5 by 11, color photos, and you can actually read it and understand it. It's really, really cool. So that's what comes in the hopper when you get this. So I think, you know, there you go. We'll talk about all the specs and everything and how it comes. But I think, you know, at this point in time, good God, should I just tell them the price and the BTUs? Do you want me to talk about that?
We'll save it for the next scene. We'll get you guys in the close-up in the next one, and we'll just do the full 360. Sound good?
Okay, sounds good. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. So today is the ComfortBilt HP22-N SS stainless steel. So kind of the key things, you can look up all the specs all day long on the internet. So the kind of key things that people want to know is like one, it's like the BTUs, up to 41,000 BTUs per hour. I think that's a key point. Yes, it's EPA certified. And another thing people want to know. And so the hopper, so the 22 base model is a little smaller. The 22N has an 80-pound copper capacity, which is pretty darn good. And so people want to know, what will this heat up to? Up to, they're the key words. Oh my gosh. Up to 2,800 square feet. But look at the retaining walls of your house. What areas do you want to heat? Do you have high ceilings, etc.? Will this actually do what it needs to do? So you don't want to overwork your stove. So up to 2,800 square feet. So it's a big stove. You know, I can give you the measurements. So here's my tape measure. This is great. So about 24 inches wide. That's great. And the depth going back 26 inches. And the height 40 inches. So that will give you a little bit of information there. So it's all good. And so the other thing that I think is really, really key, if you want to know how much does the darn thing cost, well, look all over the email. So you want to go to milespelletstove.com. Yes, we have the service. You call Briggs and I will help you. But take baby steps before you buy a stove. So these retail at $24.99. So they're kind of the key points. This is another thing. People have been emailing me or calling me and saying, Brett, how quiet is the stove? Well, you have a combustion fan that takes out the exhaust and it brings the air into the burn pot. That's one fan. The second one is your convection room air fan that blows the good air out into your room. It's pretty quiet. It's above average as far as the quiet level. If you want something that's super, super quiet, look at $5,000 or $6,000 stoves, in my opinion. So we'll keep it at that. So Briggs, what we're going to do now, are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to do a 360. We're going to open up the stove. We're going to show you some of the components, and so you can kind of see what's behind the scenes of the stove before you buy it, if you buy it. And like I always say, if you don't like it, that's okay. If you love it, great. We'll keep moving forward. We'll see you in the next scene.
Oh, keep it going. It's already open, Dad.
You want me to keep going?
It's already open.
Okay, let's go. So, anyway, put down a tape measure. So, anyway, these side doors, they open like this. So, you can see here, again, I always get into this, so I don't have it on my work table today, but oh well, we're going to go with it. So, this is the handle. Ergonomically, it's really, really nice. You just open it up, and there it is. And again, I'm going to pinpoint this. I love this. I love this. So it's got the bay window. 1, 2, 3 windows. But I really, really like the seal of this. This is really nice. It's a nice seal. Really nice. So when you get this out of the deal, out of the package, it comes with a little bit of cardboard here. And it's just keeping this burn pot intact so it doesn't move around and break the windows. So you just take these things out. Just get them out of here. So here it is. Back here, you got the flashlight. Very nice. Nebo, help us out so we can help the consumers. This is a super cool flashlight. So back here, this is a brick background. They call it vermiculite, and I really like it. It's really, really nice. You will get a little bit of burn action here as you get it up and running. We'll show you in the video after we start it what it will do. But this is the inside of the stove. I really, really like it. And here, like we showed on all the ComfortBilt stoves, is here, this is your burn pot. This is cast iron. So I think it's really, really nice. There are some options. We did a video on it that they have come up with the stainless steel burn pots, which is an alternative. I think it's kind of cool. Some people say, well, Brett, it'll make more noise. Well, Brett, it will do this. Well, it's an option. I think it'll last a little longer than this one, but that's my opinion. But it comes with a cast iron, which is fine. I think it's well built. So you slip this in. Briggs, can you get a picture of it? So you want to put this in. It just sits right in there. And it's really, really easy. So it's really nice here. And so, well, just pinpoint this up. So I guess we'll go down here. You can see these latches. You just open them up like this. And then the other side here. Follow along. Don't fill my bald spot, dang it.
Whoops.
Yeah. So here, when you take those latches, this is your ash pan. So periodically throughout the week, dump out the ashes, folks. And I like this because they've got a real nice seal around this whole ash pan. So when you put this back in, it is imperative that you put it all the way in completely. Bring the latch over like so, snap it down, and go over to the other side here. Bring this down here, and then, oops, 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 let me move this door. And then clamp it down like so. Then it'll be fine. Here, a little bit of draft action here. I usually keep it like at the 50-50 right here. And that seems to be just fine. Just set it and forget it. And it's great. Here, which I like, you can see in here, all these holes here, these are the heat exchanger tubes. And so when the fire goes up, it heats these tubes, and the convection room air fan blows out the warm air right out into your dwelling. So it keeps you, your family, and your friends warm. It's really, really nice. They're big heat tubes. I think it's great. Here, this is the heat exchanger cleaning rod. So at the end of the rod, it's like my fingers or a rake. So when you go in and out when the stove is cold, just do it like 3 times throughout the week, and it cleans the heat exchanger tubes. And when they're clean, they stay hotter, and that means you're going to get hotter air out into your dwellings. Really, really cool. So it's nice. If you like this design, it's kind of curved, brings a little accent to it, and compared to the HP22, which is a lower profile, so you will have this, but this has just about double the hopper capacity, and it's a little bit taller than the HP22, but I like it. I think it's nice, but it's, if you think it's nice, but we've seen, you know, we did an installation of one of these without the SS, which stands for what? Stainless steel, what's your word?
Super special.
The super special. So,
got to trademark that.
Anyway, you can get this stove in different colors, but you can also get this stove without the stainless steel. And so we've seen these without the stainless steel, and it's kind of looks like a wood stove. It's okay, it's pretty bland. But if you have the stainless steel, which is not an extra cost, it just brings a little action to it. And like I always say, if you love it, great. If you don't, okay, that's okay too. So we'll leave it at that. So that's that. SS stainless steel, or super what?
Special.
Super special. So let's go around the side. Come along with us. Now this is what you don't see on the internet. This is what you don't see at the box stores. They don't show you this. They just drop it off and good luck. Well, with Briggs & I, it's going to be more than good luck. It's going to be superior service and honesty. So we're going to look back here.
Well, real quick, how did they, well, what's the panel look like?
What panel?
Well, they used to be there. We took them off. The thing's right behind you.
I really like that. So it's a great point. So these side panels, they do come off. And the way you take them off, we're going to do another video on how to get to know your HP22-N stove. But these side panels do come off, but you have to take a couple bolts off in order to get to the back of the stove. And it's nice because annually you can go in and clean the components, and or in the future, yes, you will have to replace some moving parts, some of the fans, the augers, sensors, etc. So they're good point. Are you ready to go?
Heck yeah.
Okay, let's go into it. So here we go. So in here, it's pretty basic. So you look at this thing. You spend all the money on these stoves. Really, what's involved in these stoves? A lot of times in the showrooms and on the internet, you don't see this. Well, good golly, Briggs. Are you still filming? Here we go. Are you still, no, go back. Hello? See what's in the back of a pellet stove? Good golly, it's pretty simple, folks. So I'm going to go back over here. And so here, this here is the wire harness. So it's connected to all the components. Here is the main control board. This is the brains of this particular pellet stove. And down here, Brooks, can we show this? Check this out. Check this out. This is the motor, and this spins upward. This is the convection room air fan. Oh, good golly, it just blows the air right up and blows right out into your dwelling. It's super cool. This is a damper control. Now, this damper controls the intake air. It is preset. You may have to adjust it in or out based on your dwelling. So it's right here. It's super cool. Let's go in the back. Come on. Let's go. Right here is where you plug in the stove. This is your power cord. This is your main power on and off. So once you turn it on, this top part, which we'll show you at the end of the video, will illuminate. So you keep this on all the time, but this is the main power on and off. If you go over here, this here is your intake air. So by code, if you have a manufactured home, you're gonna have to have an outside air kit. OAK is the acronym. So you have to have outside air come into here if you need be. And come over here. This is your exhaust, 3-inch standard. So when you get your piping, you know, two of the biggest piping manufacturers to me are Duravent and Selkirk. So once you stick with a brand, stay with all the same pieces because they don't intermiss. You know, whether it be Selkirk or Duravent, you can't just connect different brands together. Stick with the same brand. So I like Duravent. I'll give them kudos for that. I think it's a good brand. So we come over here. Come along. This is great. Oh my gosh, this is so simple. So in here, my hand right here, this is the auger mode. So basically, this is moving an auger shaft right up through this fuselage, moving the pellets up, 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 and they drop down this chute here into your burn pot. It's very well made. This thing is stout. I can tell you, we've never replaced one of these in 4 years. So I'm very, very impressed.
Maybe one.
One?
I'm trying to think. We don't replace them often.
No.
So they do last a while.
I'm very impressed with it, but you know, they're mass produced, just like a toaster, a vacuum cleaner, or things like that. I mean, sometimes you're gonna get a bad egg, but overall, I'm pretty impressed with it. But it's easy. Like here, I got my hand here, folks. Right here is the igniter. This is which automatically starts your stove. So if you have to replace the igniter, right where my finger is, you loosen that bolt, pull out the igniter, unplug it here, put your new one in reverse, and you're done. Saves you money.
And if you mind if I cut in,
Yes.
it looks like that's got the Gen 2 igniter. So it looks like the newer ComfortBilt stoves today are coming with the Gen 2 instead of the Gen 1. So that's a bonus.
I think it is a bonus because I like what ComfortBilt is doing. They're constantly trying to improve. And I think any company does that. Kudos to them. Let's make it better for the consumer. So the Gen 2 igniter is a hollow core igniter. I believe that it lights faster and it lasts longer. So we'll keep it at that. Here, this is your vacuum switch. You'll find that on any pellet stoves. It detects negative air pressure. This seems to be problematic on a lot of stoves, and you can look at some of our other videos on how to troubleshoot this. But this is what this is. Here, this is the exhaust motor. Again, it's going to take the bad air out through your exhaust. It's also going to draw air into your burn pot, which accelerates the flame, and it just gets it ginormous. It just gets it going. So here, this is easy peasy. So here, which I like, is that in the long run, you're going to have to replace this motor, but you can do it yourself. I call it the DIY trend. I mean, my gosh, I mean, people can do this themselves, but if you have to replace this, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 wing nuts, 2 power leads, and your ground. Remove and replace with your new one, which comes with a gasket, and you're good. Here is proof of fire or low sensing probes and or sensors, snap discs, which detects the heat, which keeps the stove running and shuts it down, which I like with ComfortBilt. If this particular snap disc goes bad or sensor goes bad, then you can take these 2 leads off, unplug your stove first for safety. Take these 2 leads off and go to the spare. So they've given you a spare. I think it's really, really cool. I don't know. I look at the simplicity of all this, son, And I also look at the metal. You can listen to it. And you want to do that, and you're going to have different gauges of steel throughout the stove. Obviously, it's going to be more on the bottom for the base, but it really only gets pretty warm from my hand. It'll get warm here, hotter in the front. And the back, not so hot at all. And in the user manual, it will show you clearances on how to install your stove. If you want to do it yourself, or you can call a professional, a licensed professional, to install your stove. But I like the schematics. They're there. They show you exactly different ways to install your stove safely and by code. And when you do that, you want to let your insurance company know it's an EPA stove and you installed it by the diagrams. You did it by code, so it's safe for you, your friends, your family, and your dwelling. You get it. So there it is. There's not really much to these. They've really go. You know, I go back into what, the 90s, son. We were working on some of these stoves, and you have to take out 2 or 3 parts just to fix the igniter. You think?
Yeah, the older ones weren't very technician friendly.
No.
The newer ones today, they're friendly all around, from consumer to technician to anybody, really. So a lot of pluses on the newer guys.
Well, yeah, I mean, things just keep improving. I mean, good golly, when I got out of college, I mean, I thought it was like the biggest thing in the world. I got this Motorola cell phone. It was about this big with an antenna this big. And I thought it was bad, cool. And I was. But look at the cell phones today. So it's the same thing with pellet stoves. We've seen them evolve and change, and they've gotten more simplistic and more DIY friendly, so you can fix them yourself.
Have cell phones gotten simple?
Well, kinda, but I'm a senior citizen. So they just, oh my gosh, there's too much.
We won't get into that.
So we look at this. So why don't we go up into the hopper? So this here is where you put the pellets in. So you just lift the lid up. This here, this is the safety switch. So this has to be down, or the auger motor will not turn and distribute pellets. So when it's up, it won't distribute pellets. When it's down, it pushes that sensor down and the stove will operate. It's a safety feature, so I think that's kind of nice. This is just a big hopper. Did you see this hopper? It's just ginormous. So it's 80 pounds. It's pretty cool. And so you look down in here, this is the auger shaft right here. It's just like a wine corkscrew. So it's just going to take the pellets up where my finger is going, up, and it's going to drop them down into the burn pot. I like the seal around it. It is what it is. It's pretty cool. So the other thing, you know, I forgot to really mention, so we go around, I don't want to miss anything, is back here. This little wire here, this is a room sensing probe. So when you put it into the temperature mode, this senses the temperature of the room. So you can run it in manual mode, meaning you can turn it on and off. You can set your heat up or down, or you can set it to a particular temperature. But I tell you what, we got coming up. I know there's a lot of folks out there that say, you know, it works pretty well, or it doesn't work well, or we're not happy with it. But what we're going to do on the next segment, we're going to do another stove, and we're going to do the remote thermostat.
Next video?
On the next,
or one of the future videos.
It's coming up soon. But the remote thermostat, which is like your remote control for your television, but it's a thermostat. So you have it out by your lazy boy or lazy girl chair, and basically that's where your remote is, and it's not here that senses the temperature of the room. It's in your hand or by your bedside table, or not bedside table, or by your kitchen table. And we're going to try that to see if it really works, or if it's a POS. So we'll keep it at that. So that's pretty much the rundown. But you can see the simplicity of the pellet stoves today. For the most part, they're DIY, do it yourself. Pretty easy to maintain and to clean and provide warmth for you, your friends, and your family. I think it's really cool. So we're going to leave it at that. So what do you want to do now?
I'm going to talk about this in the next scene, and then we're going to fire it up.
So it's really good. This is the user control board. So Briggs is going to teach you a few things about it, and we're not going to bore you, but just the basics of it. But when you get into that 8.5 by 11 installation and or user guide, which I think is awesome, you can do so much with this, or keep it very, very simplistic for you, your friends, and your family. So Briggs is going to show you how to do that. Then we're going to light this thing up and show you a realistic flame. We're not going to show you this one on the internet where the flame is this big. Can it get that big? Yeah. Is it real? I don't think so. We're going to show you a real flame and how this stove operates to see if it's the right one for you. And if it isn't, okay, we'll go to the next one. Ready, Briggs?
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's go.
All right, everyone. So real quick, I'm just going to go over a real brief overview of this control board. And if you really want to know all the details, again, like my dad said, that manual does wonders explaining all the intricate stuff if you really want to dive deep into this. But for now, this is going to be a quick guide. So here it is. And as you can see, no life, nothing, even though it's plugged in. Now, if you will remember this main power switch right here, you're going to hit this and you're going to hear a nice little jingle beep. And right here, this is coming alive. So what you're going to see on the screen, you're going to see in this top left corner, the mode it is on. You're going to see a status box right here. And you're going to see the different heat levels, the temperature that the stove is sensing in the room. It's 49 degrees currently here in our garage in Brownsville, Oregon. Here's date and time, and here's another status box to let you know what else is going on. So obviously right now, this thing's in idle, stop, everything mode, because there hasn't been a command for it yet. So we're going to go over here. This button right here, this is your on and off button. If I hit this right now, the stove will go, and I'm not going to do that yet because there's a few other buttons I want to do before we finally fire this thing up. Down over here, this button is the change mode button. Watch this top corner as I hit this. Temp, weekly, thermostat. So there are 4 modes on this bad boy. So manual, simplest one, turn it on, it'll keep running, turn it off, it'll turn off. On manual mode, this is where you can manually adjust the heat setting from levels 1 through 5. If I hit this again, you're gonna find the temp mode. So basically on temp mode, the stove is gonna act just like a thermostat would. It has an internal thermostat. So right here, as you can see, another number popped up. It says 61 degrees. And so instead of the heat level increasing, I use the up and down arrows. It will act just like a thermostat. You can set it, start it, and it'll run just as so. If you hit it again, this is weekly mode. So this is a fancier mode that if you really want to get it in there and adjust the settings, you can have the stove come on at Monday morning at 9 a.m. and run for this level. You get it. You can really fine tune this to make sure it fits your daily needs, your weekly needs, anything you like. And finally, this is thermostat mode, not to get confused with temp mode. So when it says thermostat mode up here, this is basically meaning it is the setting that hooks up to an external thermostat. And like my dad said, we will have a future video on that to show what it means, but basically it's another option to have your stove run on. So, but most people will just opt up to either manual or temp mode, and especially since this kind of already has its own internal thermostat. Over here, this exclamation mark, if I hit this, you're going to see different status symbols and everything else. Like if I open the hopper lid, close it, and if I hit the button again, you kind of get it. It's kind of like the stove's own odometer per se. You can see how many ignite times, run times, total fuel. Kind of gives you all that information if you like to kind of more of the history of what the stove's gone through. Hit it again, it'll come right back to normal. This plus sign right here, if you hit it, you'll get a red light, and basically what that means, it changes the functions of a number of these buttons to a second set of features. Now in this video, we won't go over it, but basically that is just what it means. And so if you're fiddling with this on your own ComfortBilt stove, and you accidentally hit and you see the red light, hey, don't freak out. Just go over here, hit it again, and you're golden. Over here, you already saw the up and down arrows of what they do. Change heat levels, change the thermostat temperature. And so pretty straightforward. Over here, you'll have the enter button and the back button. Obviously, nothing happens right now, but
if I press and hold this left enter button, oh, look at that. So you will have the set data page. So this basically is the bread and butter and all the different settings that you can do in changing this stove. So if you want in here, change the date and time, so the weekly mode, diagnosis, set eco mode, everything on here that you can access in this page. Now, if you want to get back, just hit back and you're good. And basically right there, that is just a quick guide to this thing so you're not lost in the dark. And so if you just wanted to keep it simple in manual mode to start this stove, remember, we're going to revert right back to this power button. I'm going to hit it. So right there, key differences right here, you'll see a flame. See how it darkens if you increase or decrease the level. Kind of a nice little illustration you got. Over here, status thing igniting, which means it's going into start mode. The auger motor is going for the initial dump. And then also your igniter is heating up. And over here, lastly, you have on. And so right here, just because kind of a close-up picture of what it will look like once the stove is starting running. And the next thing, we'll actually do the full run-through. You ready to start it?
Yeah, let's go. Let's get it going.
All right, sounds good. So basically what we're going to do, we're going to show you guys the full startup to the stove. So you're going to see the start sequence, the run sequence, and then finally the convection fan is going to be on. You're going to be seeing the flame during that whole time. And we're also going to be doing a combo of, like, you're going to see initially, see the sped up version, and then we're going to just wrap it up in one last scene and with any, last comments, right?
Well, I think this is really good because when I talk about, when you see things on the internet, again, you see this ginormous flame. Well, yeah, you could probably get close to that if you run it on the highest level, but most people run it on level 1, 2, and 3, in my opinion. So you're going to see a realistic flame here. This is a brand new stove. We've got everything ready to go. Brace is just going to start it, and we'll just have it being silent. You're probably thinking, thank goodness you don't have to listen to Brett. But it'll be silent, so you can actually see the flame, how it starts, how it runs, and then we'll wrap it up. So we'll see you in the next scene. You ready?
All right, let's get started.
Okay, let's do it.
Ooh, good sound.
Okay, let's go.
All right, everyone, that's all we got for you. Thank you so much for sticking around. I know it was a longer video, but, you know, just my dad and I, we like being thorough. We like what we do, and also we really want to just show you, well, pretty much as much ins and outs as we can. And so, yeah, you got any last remarks? I know you got a few.
I always do. You know, I always say, you know, this is a major purchase for you, your friends, and your family. Take baby steps. And so we do the 360. This is a realistic flame going on here. So it will fluctuate based on your pellets and the distribution. It'll kind of go up and down a little bit. But this is a realistic flame. But the main thing here, this fan is on now and it's blowing nice warm air out into your dwelling. So this is the HP22-N by ComfortBilt. If you like it, great. If you don't, that's okay. But if you have questions, email or call us, and we want to make sure it's the right stove for you. And if it is, milespelletstove.com, and you can deal with, obviously, Brett and Briggs, and we'll help you along the road. So, pretty good stove overall. There are a lot of choices out there, but you know what? We really, really appreciate you viewing in, and hopefully it's been helpful, again, to you, your friends, and your family. Briggs, you want to close it?
Yeah, one last thing. So don't forget, please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Really helps us out to help you. And then also, now check the description and the comment section. We got the affiliate links if you want to learn more about this stove, all the depths and everything else if you didn't catch it in this video. And, well, yeah, that's about it. So thank you guys. We'll see you next time.